Welcome to my kitchen kingdom, where this old man cooks. Welcome to Kitchen Kingdom, where this old man throws down to chow down. In this episode, I'm going to prepare things to snack upon, or appetizers if you will. So let's get started. What I'm first going to do is prepare some tuna that I had left over. Now, if you don't have leftover tuna, you can just use canned tuna, but I recommend that you use tuna that is stored in oil. So I just flake this, and what I'm going to do to just boost this up just a little bit is I'm going to use a handheld smoking device. So let's do this. This is so cool. This is going to infuse the tuna with a little bit of smokiness. As well as the Kitchen Kingdom. I'm going to turn that off, set this aside, let that sit for about a minute or two, and we'll be right back. This tuna has incorporated the smoky qualities that I imparted upon it. Next, I'm going to take some mascarpone cheese, and I'm going to now mix the mascarpone in with the tuna. And you just do this like so. And I'm going to add just a hint of avocado oil. And that's why I said you should have the tuna that is in oil. That will help this process along. Just make sure that's mixed up really well. You can put as much mascarpone as you want. And after it's incorporated up very well, it's sort of like a tuna salad that you're used to. You're going to take it, spread it upon some crackers. Some has more, some has less, but hey, more or less, you get the idea. Oh well, casualty of war. And we're gonna garnish these up with some Nova. And a little bit of sprinkle of parsley. So the next thing we are going to prepare is my take on a deconstructed shepherd's pie. It's going to be the filling of a shepherd's pie without the corn, carrots, and peas, and of course, without the potato, the mashed potato topping. But what we have here to make that is 1 pound of lamb, a half a cup of chopped shallots, 1 tablespoon of flour, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of fresh chopped rosemary, half a teaspoon of fresh chopped thyme, 1 tablespoon of unsalted tomato paste. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And this ingredient here is garam masala. That's what's going to go into this dish here. We're going to start by browning our lamb. So what we want to do is add the lamb and let it start browning. I'm going to add the 1/2 cup of shallots. Now, one way to try to understand garam masala is to think about, because we don't have any type of seasoning or ingredient that's like it, unless you're gonna talk about seasoned salt or something like that, adobo, but it's all pretty much uniform. Think about it like a rub. You know, a rub that you would put on barbecue or things that you would smoke. It has basic ingredients that go into it: salt, sugar, paprika, but then each pit master will add whatever he wants to it to make it his own signature thing. That's kind of like garam masala. That's the best way I can explain it, is that it's a blend of up to between 4 and 7 different spices, but then the amount of spices that can go into it is the amount of stars that are in the sky. So each garam masala has its own individual flavor, and I guess it depends on what you're going to use it for. But it's a spice seasoning that is very popular in Indian food. So we're getting the lamb browned with the shallots. I'm going to now add the garlic and the salt and pepper. Also, if you have your own favorite recipe for shepherd's pie, just use it, but omit the peas, the carrots, the corn, and of course the mashed potatoes. Now, this mixture is getting fairly browned. It's not browned all the way, but I'm going to now add in the rest of my components. Not all of them, but I'm going to start with the teaspoon of freshly chopped rosemary, and I emphasize freshly chopped. These herbs you really need to do fresh. The 1/2 teaspoon of freshly chopped thyme. And you'll immediately be able to get the smell. Oh yes, the goodness of fresh herbs that go into this. And now the garam masala. Which is going to lend a flavor component to this that shepherd pie doesn't have. Now, we are completely browned, and this is where I'm going to add the 1 tablespoon of unsalted tomato paste, get that incorporated well. Come on, baby, do your thing. And about 1 teaspoon of the Worcestershire sauce. And the tablespoon of flour. We're going to remove this from the heat. And we're going to let it settle down and cool. Then we're going to incorporate this with the puff pastry. Okay, what you're going to do here is, on your clean surface, dust lightly with a little flour. You're not going to do any rolling. This is just to prevent the puff pastry from sticking. Take your puff pastry and unfold it. You want to work with this at room temperature. Take it out the freezer, let it thaw in the refrigerator. Then you want it to be at room temperature for about 40 minutes or so before you start working with it. You don't want it too cold, but then you don't want it too warm. Remove the parchment. Have to dust under this a little bit because it's sticking just so. And what I'm going to do is, you have your mixture that you made. You want to make sure that it's dry, drained, cool, and a little coarse and crumbly like you see here. So first thing, what I want to do is, I have some rosemary infused butter. You can just use regular butter if you want, but this just boosts up the flavor just a little bit. You want to brush it in there ever so lightly. While this is being done, you want to have your oven preheating 400 degrees. There. You also want to have prepared an egg wash. And you'll take your mixture and you'll just kind of lay it in there. Try to get it even. And just spread it out. So that it's fairly uniform. Now what you're going to do is, you're going to roll it up like a jelly roll. So you take it, and simply roll like so. Tucking it under and bringing it towards you as you go. Same process for a cinnamon roll if you're a baker. What we're going to do now is take some of the egg wash, go up under here and seal it. I should have turned it this way so you can see. We're going to go up under here and just seal it a little bit so that it doesn't loosen up too much before we get it on the baking sheet. Keep the egg wash aside. I just did that with the egg wash. And what we're going to do, if you have a baker scraper, that would be good for this, but I'm just going to use a knife, and you're going to cut it. Like so. Don't worry if it deforms just a bit. We're going to reshape them as we lay them out on our baking surface, which is right here. Move this back. This is lightly sprayed with some non-cook spray. And we're going to take these and just place them. You don't want to crowd the sheet because these will expand. So I'd say about 6. If you have a larger sheet pan, you can of course put as much as you want on it. Then you're going to take your egg wash and go around the sides nicely. Of course, a little on the top. These are going to bake about 20 minutes or until golden brown, 400 degree oven. You can then serve these hot, or you can serve them at room temperature. Okay, now we're ready to plate up. After 20 minutes, these babies are golden brown. Take them off your sheet pan, and you place as many as you want. And there you have it. Shepherd's pie inspired pinwheels and tuna salad with mascarpone. Let's chow down.